Is the UK becoming too expensive to live? Because for me, I'm this close to selling up and going because it's getting that way.
I've had enough. I've had enough. What is this country's problem with bills? Why is there always a bill to pay?
Of the cost of living crisis, not only is it financially strangling the working class, it's also creating a rise in crime.
I just saw a video of a woman who unalived herself because her mortgage payments went up by £600. £600.
The prices of food up, price of bills up, rent, mortgage, insurance, road tax, fuel duty, stamp duty, everything is going up to a rate that is not affordable.
UK is fallen. It's just a complete and utter rip-off. I don't know how anyone survives or has any fun. You know, for four of us to come here to a farm just to look at some animals, this is £100.
Some people are eating animal products like dog food and cat food because of the food prices going up.
We, the people that actually pay the taxes, don't stand a chance anymore.
Are we just to be farmed for every goddamn penny we've got? I swear we need to fight back. This is shameful.
The UK have just sent £2.26 billion to Ukraine of £752 million, which I find quite ironic considering that the UK have said for decades that they do not have the money for their own people.
It's the way they want it to go. They want you to own nothing. They want you to own nothing and they want you to be happy about it. But you, the hard-working British taxpayer, you can suffer. And you better not say anything about it because Mr. Summer will lock you up.
Welcome back to Brit Rants, where we speak the uncomfortable truth about the country we used to be proud of. This isn't the UK I grew up in. The UK I knew was about decency, fairness, and giving people a fighting chance. Now, it's a country where working people can't afford food, where the NHS is crumbling, where greed runs wild while ordinary families are left to struggle. They've sold off our future, trashed our communities, and turned Britain into a playground for the rich, while the rest of us are told to shut up and cope. If you feel like strangers have hijacked our country, hit subscribe. Let's rant together, because someone has to say it.
Is the UK becoming too expensive to live? Because for me, I'm this close to selling up and going because it's getting that way. Every single person I speak to, whether they be hardworking people, parents, grandparents, people without a job, people on benefits, every single person is struggling. Yet at the same time, all of our tax is being sent to here, there and everywhere, pretty much everywhere else other than back into this country to help it grow, to help it become more self-sustainable, etc., etc. There's like 42% of people in this population claim benefits. 7.5 billion just on universal credits to immigrants last year alone. We don't have the money for this. Why is it fair that every single person that was born in this country, that has lived and grown up in this country, worked, paid tax, they're all struggling? They're all struggling. I don't know anyone. We're trying to organise a job. We've got to render it. Oh, I ain't got the money for that. I'll build it. Oh, we haven't got the money for that. Everyone's the prices of materials and jobs up. And then in your home life, the prices of food up, price of bills up, rent, mortgage, insurance, road tax, fuel duty, stamp duty, everything is going up to a rate that is not affordable. And if you have a mortgage right now and you're struggling, be prepared that they will take your house away from you. They will take your belongings away from you if you cannot afford to pay your debts. It's the way they want it to go. They want you to own nothing. They want you to own nothing and they want you to be happy about it. We need to see what's happening here, but this cannot last. The UK is finished in my eyes. It is finished because no one's doing a thing about it. Everyone's just going to work. Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind struggling because, you know, we know what life's all about. Literally, it's all about the 40-hour work week and making my boss happy and, you know, paying that stupid amount of tax. We need to wake up. We need to do something. Our country is being run by idiots who are making you poor and you are suffering because of their consequences and their actions. They're happy spending 12 billion a year on foreign climate aid. They're happy spending billions a year towards net zero. They're happy sending millions and millions in universal credit, spending billions on hotels, on free food, on driving lesson subsidies. But you, the hard-working British taxpayer, you can suffer. And you better not say anything about it, because Mr. Starmer will lock you up. What do you reckon? Because to me, I'm this close. I am so close to just packing up my stuff and getting the f*** out of here.
Hey guys, don't you just love Rachel Reeves and the Labour Party and their amazing ideas? The latest one is Rachel Reeves wants to increase pension age to 71. Is she off her head? 71 years of age. She wants people to work till she's 71, slaving away. That's just beyond a joke. Who on earth is going to want to work till 70 or 71? It's bad enough working to the current state pension age. The Labour Party are just getting beyond a joke. I don't know what it is with them. You've got Keir Starmer thinking they're going to be in power for at least 10 years. And all they're doing is picking on pensioners. It's not just the pensioners, it's people who are going to be coming up to pension age and then finding out that Rachel Reeves wants them to work till 71. They're not going to win another election. They're going to be whitewashed in the next election. Let me know if you are prepared to work till you're 71. And please follow this account for the latest news and share this video. Thank you.
I just saw a video of a woman who unalived herself because her mortgage payments went up by £600. £600. That is the kind of pressure that people are being put under in this country. And that is why I have no desire to own any kind of property in this dirty, stinking UK. Once upon a time, I was saving for a mortgage in this country. I wanted to have a home here and be able to travel the world. So now I want to use that money to live in another country because as far as I'm concerned, yes, the UK is my home because I was born here. But apart from that, this country is not for me. It's not for us. It's just really not for me anymore because people are too focused on the wrong things in this country. But anyway, my heart goes out to that poor woman's family, and to anyone that may be watching this that is struggling, please know that's not the answer. There is help and support for you out there, so please speak to someone. Please.
This country's gone to wreck and ruin. I'm telling you now, there's a house around here that's up for rent. Yes, it's a new build, but that doesn't mean a lot these days for £1,100. And before you start complaining and saying you pay more than that, I live in an area where rent wasn't £1,100 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't even half that. It's absolutely disgusting. Yes, my area is in the South Wales Valleys and it's famous for cheap labour because factories set up here and they expect people to work for bugger all. But there we are. The price on our council tax apparently is going to go up 4.95%. Apparently is a prediction, don't worry, because they didn't want to round it to 5% because it looks nicer, right? And I know there's council tax rises in the UK which are even higher than that. Everything's going up. We are just going to work for fun. Why don't we all just claim absolutely everything? Tell a doctor I've got this, that and the other, because everyone seems to be doing it at the moment. Why is the point in going to work? Genuine now, I just don't understand it. This country needs to solve some problems.
I've had enough. I've had enough. What is this country's problem with bills? Why is there always a bill to pay? Okay, what is a TV license? Why do I need a television license? It's not a car. It's not a moped. What? The television's there. What do you mean I need to pay to use? I paid for it. I've got nothing left. Everything's a bill. Just give me some money.
Here's another example of rip-off Britain. Anyway, we queued up and I asked for a loaded breakfast here. Sounds good on the menu. Golden hash browns with bangers and beans, tomato sauce, sprinkled with bacon bits, and that is it. I don't think you can see and really appreciate how small that is, but it's basically just some beans. It's not even proper sausage. It's like a Frankfurter boiled sausage as well, £9. It's just gets on my nerves. Everywhere you go is just complete and utter rip-off. Right, I've just dived into it a bit more, but it's literally 3 hash browns covered with beans. There isn't even hardly any sausage in there either. Oh, that's the sausage. There is a small bit of sausage in there. It's just like, can you not just go somewhere and get some sort of value for money, or is everywhere you go has to take the piss out? That probably cost 50p to make, 3 hash browns, maybe less than £1. That did not touch the sides at all. I was just having a long conversation with my sister, and it's just like, the UK is fallen. It's just a complete and utter rip-off. I don't know how anyone survives or has any fun. You know, for 4 of us to come here to a farm just to look at some animals, this is £100 day out before you start including the cost of food and all the other stuff. So, you know, to bring your family here, by the end of the day, you're probably looking about £160, something like that, for a day out at a farm, you know, in the middle of nowhere. So there you are.
Does your food shop feel way more expensive lately? It's not just you. Prices are going up again, fast. Food prices are rising quicker than they have nearly in a year. Things like bread, dairy, fruit and veg, all are getting more expensive. Do you remember when £20 got you a full bag of food? Now you're lucky if you get 5 things. Families are cutting back. People are changing what they eat just to cope. It's not just about global stuff. Experts blame rising energy bills, supply chain problems, and weird weather messing crops. So no, you're not imagining it. Your food shop is more expensive. And I've even read some articles where some people are eating animal products like dog food and cat food because of the food prices going up. And I found that quite ridiculous, to be fair with you. So the best thing is, make sure you stay smart, look for offers, buy in bulk, and keep yourself informed. It's tough, but you're not alone. So let me know where you go shop and what shops do you think is a bargain to go to. It'll be good to share with each other where everyone's going. So stay informed, peeps.
Guys, you want to talk about the cost of living? I just stopped off near Shoreditch to get a quick coffee and something to eat. Yeah. And I just paid about £7 for peanut butter, banana toast. It's mad. I've already had half of it, but bloody hell. £7 for a toast. A banana and peanut butter. Cost of living.
Aldi, could I have a word, please? I picked up some eggs the other day. Large. Definitely large. I asked for large eggs. I opened the carton to see how large these eggs are, and that's how big it is. Now, I'm not being funny, but that looks like a small egg. Not even a medium, a small egg. What in the world has gone on with Aldi? On top of that, I'm doing my son a ham toasty, and the ham was so wafer thin, when I was peeling them apart, I was just ripping to pieces because they were that thin. Honestly, you would think that Aldi was running out of money and they were going bankrupt, but they're not. They're making a fortune and the prices are increasing, so why? Are they trying to scam us? Dude, that is not a large egg. That's a medium. No, that's a small egg. That's a small egg. Change the carton to small because that is not a large egg. On top of that, look at these meat sticks. Look. Where's the rest, mate? Where's the rest?
What in the cost of living, broken Britain is this again? Anchor. 750 grams, 708. How the fuck is Anchor right behind Lurpak? Man. Yeah, we've got bacon cob here, 193. Remember the sauce sachet? That just shows you the size of it. It is small. What's happened to this? Dowie egg bits. 644. 339. 150 grams. It's not even big. Bisto gravy. 380. Not even the Bisto best. Jesus Christ. A lot of people ask me to look at the oil. Wow, these ain't even big. 433, 424, 873, 424. These ain't even big oils. What's happened to oil? Small can of Dove deodorant, 446. And no, it's not a big one, before anyone starts saying. How do people afford to shave? Jesus Christ. It's cheaper to go to the hairdressers. There we have it, Asda. Not all bad. A lot of cheap stuff in there. We've still got some of your main stuff that people have. Crap price. See you all again soon.
I'm working in Lewisham at the minute. A couple of weeks ago, we had a whole machine stolen off site on Sydenham Road. Not only did we have a whole machine stolen off Sydenham Road, but when talking to the members of the public in the local area about it, see if anybody had witnessed anything, we got some video footage in regards to it, but one of the main things that people kept saying is that in the last 6 to 12 months, burglaries in the area have gone through the roof. Nearly everybody I spoke to had their house burgled or things stolen from their garden. This is the actual societal cost of the cost of living crisis. Not only is it financially strangling the working class, it's also creating a rise in crime. And this will also, something that's close to my heart, bring a rise in violent crime, knife crime, gun crime, all these different forms of poverty-related crime, drug crime, county lines. Gangs are going to be absolutely loving the situation at the minute as more and more youth are going into austerity because their parents can't put food on the table or put gas and electricity in the house. So they're going to be out trying to make their own money so they can have their own little bits and things. And who's doing anything about it? Because I'm like hardlining at the minute, tagging people left, right and centre on all sorts of social media, trying to get support to raise money for Stop the Bleed kits because knife crime is at an all-time high. And normal members of the public can't help because you haven't got the money to help. And all of the people in politics and in places of privilege, financial privilege, not replying to it, not even noticing what I'm doing. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. Something's got to give. Things need to change. We need to hold big corporations accountable. We need to hold politicians accountable for what they are doing to the average person. It's just becoming a joke.
So the UK have just sent their first instalment of a £2.26 billion loan to Ukraine of £752 million, which I find quite ironic considering that the UK have said for decades that they do not have the money for their own people. They don't have the money to support homelessness, to support mental health, to support knife crime, to tackle anything, basically. We have a crumbling NHS, we have staff that don't want to work, teachers that don't want to teach, children that are going hungry, and people living on the streets. So I thought it'd be interesting to see where that £752 million, keeping in mind this is just one instalment, what it could have done for the UK's own citizens. I just thought it'd be interesting, and this is what I found. So, starting off with housing homelessness, the estimated cost to build a social housing unit is around £150,000 per home. That £752 million could have built over 5,000 new homes, significantly reducing homelessness and the ease of, council waiting lists. Not only that, but street homelessness as well. It costs around £19,000 per year to support and house one homeless person. With £752 million, the UK could house over 39,500 homeless people for a whole year. Free school meals for children. Universal free school meals would cost around £2.5 billion per year, basically what we're giving Ukraine. The £752 million could have funded free school meals for over 30% of the country's children for a whole year. NHS nurses pay rise because they state that we are understaffed. So an 8.5% pay rise for all NHS nurses would cost approximately £750 million. This money could have fully funded a well-deserved pay increase and therefore preventing staff shortages. We could have built new hospitals because apparently we need them. A brand new NHS hospital costs around 400 to 500 million to build. 752 million could have built at least 1.5 new state-of-the-art hospitals, therefore easing the NHS crisis. Mental health support, because that's massively close to my heart too. The total funding gap for mental health services in the UK is estimated at £1 billion. 752 million could have closed 75% of that gap, improving access to therapy, crisis care and prevention programmes. But the 1 billion, so basically we could literally ease the mental health support services in total with half of what the total we're sending to Ukraine. funding youth services and knife crime prevention. Youth service cuts have left many young people vulnerable to crime and violence. £752 million could have restored thousands of youth centres across the UK and funded community programmes to tackle knife crime and gang involvement. Public transport and rail fare reductions. They're the ones saying that they don't want us driving and all the emissions and climate change rubbish. So they could have eased that. The government subsidises around £2 billion a year on public transport. £752 million could have significantly reduced train fares, making commuting affordable for millions. The energy bill relief for households. Last year, the UK government previously offered £400 energy bill support per household during the crisis. The orchestrated crisis, by the way, that they started with this whole war in Ukraine, which is ironic. Anyway, £752 million could have given nearly 1.9 million struggling households an extra £400 towards their bills. They could have supported small businesses. Many small businesses are struggling with high costs and lack of funding, and the costs are just going to keep going up and up. Business rates are increasing, rent is increasing, and people are just shopping online now. But £752 million could have provided £50,000 grants to over 15,000 small businesses, helping them survive and grow. Instead of sending the £752 million abroad and the £2.256 billion in total, this money could have transformed lives right here in the UK, from housing the homeless to strengthening the NHS and supporting struggling families. They could have stopped children being hungry. They could have looked after their own. All the money that we've put into the UK economy, that they're now taken from us and given to another country in a manipulated and orchestrated war that has no winners other than the rich people get rich and the poor get poorer. So for decades they said that they don't have the money for the UK, and yet quite evidently they do.
The UK is finished, man. I'm just sitting here at Asda and I need a shave. I need some razors. I've run out of my last lot, and I come in and I just want a shave. Guys, I just want to make a couple of shaves a month. I'm not even caring that much. It doesn't have to be the best quality. The cost, man. I don't want to remortgage my house to buy razors. I don't want to have to take out a crisis loan. I just want a shave. What is it with this rip-off country? What is it? Are we just to be farmed for every goddamn penny we've got? I swear, we need to fight back. This is shameful. This cost of living in the UK is price gouging. It's about creating record profits by getting squeezing every drop of blood, you know. And I'm not doing it. I just put them down, and I've got one of these shavers that I can just keep a light stubble, and that's it. So they've lost a life customer out of me. Gillette can go F themselves, and never again. And you can enjoy your record profits because it's all going down. This system, this capitalist exploitation, and I'm not against free markets, I'm against the crony exploitation capitalism. Where's the competition? Where's the other manufacturers that can offer something a bit cheaper? This country is a joke. I'm getting out of here, and I wonder if anyone feels the same.
When they say the NHS is in crisis, they're really not kidding, are they? I've literally been trying to get a doctor's appointment since November, and I'm not important enough to get a doctor's appointment. And it's infuriating. They're very quick to take our money. Everybody around the world says, like, oh, you're so lucky to have the NHS. How are we lucky? How are we actually lucky? I can't get any kind of care. No one I frickin' know can get any kind of care. Like, oh, people say you get what you pay for. Well, almost half of my wages goes on something. I don't know what. We can't get an A&E. I know that it's not the doctor's fault. It's the corporate shysters that have come and took everything from us. I don't mean to sound like one of those, you know, old school back in my day, but like there's nothing left in this country. Everything's been pillaged. Like everything's privatized. We, the people that actually pay the taxes, don't stand a chance anymore. There's nothing left. There is no safety net. And people don't realise that until they need the safety net. And it ain't there. We are absolutely alone in this country. So why the are we still paying? We should build little co-ops between us. Start again. I'm pissed off, man. I'm so pissed off.
Wasn't sure whether to make this video, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm so fed up with living in the UK, and me and my husband are seriously considering moving to Dubai. So today my parents-in-law came over and they wanted to take George out to the little play area on our development. We're on like a new build development and there's like a little play area there. So they took him there, and then he wanted to go to somewhere he calls the secret garden. Basically it's just a little bit further up, and it's kind of like a grassy area with loads of trees around it. It was actually built before our new build development. It's with some of the older houses, and it's got like a pathway that goes through it. And there's a really big tree there that he always runs up and tries to push over. He thinks it's really funny. He tries to push the big tree over. So I was at home with my baby Edward and my husband, and my parents-in-law came back a little bit shaken up. My mother-in-law was actually quite upset. Basically what happened, they were in the secret garden area, and there were three, well, they described them as like 15, 16-year-olds, sort of with like hoods on, balaclavas, that kind of look. And there was a knife on the floor, about an 8-inch knife on the floor, which my toddler was running up towards because it was all very unexpected. So my toddler was running towards this knife on the floor. My parents-in-law obviously quickly grabbed him and moved away from the situation. The three men who were wearing like hoods and stuff went into the bushes, left the knife on the floor, and then obviously that's all I know because my parents-in-law then came home. Right away my husband phoned the police and just said, just to let you know, on our housing development there are three men who are about maybe 15 years old, teenagers, and there's an 8-inch knife involved. And to top it off, my toddler was literally running towards it. Now, we live in a really nice area, and I know this can happen anywhere, but it's just terrifying that this is happening so much now, and knife crime and everything else is just so high. It's really scary. I walk through this area with my toddler most days, well, with the double buggy, so I'll have Edward and George in the double buggy, and I'll walk through this like secret garden area because George always likes to get out and run around there because it's quite near our house. And now I'm thinking, is it even safe? And I've never ever felt unsafe in the area we're in. I've always been fine walking around. Obviously I'm very aware of my surroundings, I'm not silly, and I know crime can happen everywhere, and I'm not stupid, I'm not naive, so please don't comment on this video saying like, oh, this kind of thing happens all over. I know it does, but we've been living here for quite a few years now, and this kind of thing has never happened on our development, on our housing development. I'm sure it's happened in near areas and I've just not known about it, but to have actually not myself experienced it, but to have my parents-in-law come back very shaken up, my mother-in-law very upset, I think she was just a bit scared by the whole thing, and to see her like that, and she'd stayed really calm around George and acted normal so that it didn't scare him, and he came back and he was fine. He just kept saying park, and they were like, no, we're not going back to the park. But yeah, I just don't know how things are going to change in the UK. So many things wrong with this country at the moment. Obviously knife crime being one of the big ones, but so many things that I'm so fed up of living here. And there's numerous things. There's things like my husband pays 50% tax, like half his salary goes to the government, and like, what the f*** are you doing with it? Excuse my language. And you know, you could go to Dubai, he could work out there and have accommodation paid for, the boys could go to private school, it'd be paid for, he wouldn't have to pay a penny in tax. We could basically pay our mortgage off in the next few years if we move out there. It's a huge, huge decision, but we are talking about it. Not for any time soon, but we're thinking about it maybe in the next couple of years when the boys are that little bit older. I'm just so fed up of the state of the UK. And I can't see it changing. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't see how any of this is going to change. I feel like unsafe now, even just living where I am, I just feel unsafe. I've been burgled in 3 different houses I've lived in. So from when I was a child up to now, 3 different houses. My husband's been burgled 3 times in 3 different houses where he's lived. I just don't know what the world's coming to. My husband's car was stolen off the drive when I was 4 days postpartum, and it was full of baby stuff, baby car seats. I just don't understand how we're in this state. Yet you can go to Dubai, you could have a Rolex watch, leave it on your sunbed and go into the sea, and it will still be there when you get back. Like, crime rates are just non-existent there because the punishments are so high. Like, in the system we're in now in the UK, there's just not enough punishment. People get away with stuff. Our whole justice system is flawed. People just don't get the justice that they deserve. Yet other countries are so much better with it, so much stricter, which then puts people off doing the crimes in the first place. And that's just a couple of things that is wrong with this country. I could go on and on. I'm not going to for the sake of this video, but what happened today has just really opened my eyes even more into what's going on, and yeah, how unsafe it really is. I just don't want to be here anymore.
The sad truth is, this isn't the UK we grew up in, and the people in charge don't seem to care. They've let greed rot this country from the inside out. Homes unaffordable, NHS on its knees, wages worthless, and somehow we're expected to smile and say, it's just how it is now. Well, it's not how it's supposed to be, and it doesn't have to stay this way. But first, we need to open our mouths, speak up, and stop letting them get away with it. So tell me, when did you realise Britain had changed beyond recognition? What broke it for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and join the fight to take our country back, because they might have trashed Britain, but they haven't silenced us.